Friday Night Blitz Media Days. We're rocking and rolling, getting you ready for the 2023 season. And we're taking a trip to Highlander Heaven as we look at the Glenvar Highlanders and their head coach in his 17th season over there in Glenvar. Of course, we're talking about Kevin Clifford and Coach Clifford. Thank you for being on the show with us.
Thanks again for having us and doing this. We certainly appreciate it.
Well, Coach, I can tell you one thing. You told me you did, this is 34 years, so it's like double your pleasure with that. Does it seem like it's been 17 years? Because you've had so much success over the time, making Glenvar a strong program.
No, I mean, it doesn't. It seems like I just started really my career yesterday. And I think when you enjoy what you do, it kind of becomes seamless. And, you know, it's been the joy of my life. I've been really blessed to be able to do something that I absolutely love. And you know, make a career of it, and you know, I'm so blessed, and so I'm happy I get to do it.
Now, last year, of course, your team went 9-4. You lost in the regional finals to Appomattox, and hate to bring this part of it. I mean, they've ended your season the last 6 years in gut-wrenching fashion. It seems like you guys go down to the wire and you battle each other. 12 straight playoff seasons. Just overall, your thoughts about last season and your growth of your team and what you're looking for this season.
Well, we struggled early, and then we came on, and of course we lost to 3 pretty good teams, and you know, we were fortunate to play 2 of them in the playoffs and kind of got the revenge. And then of course we lost to Apple for the 6th straight time, 4th time in the regional finals. They're kind of the Giles of this era, I guess, for us. You know, and it's a compliment to both teams and programs. Certainly, we have a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Smith in their program, but yeah, we need to get over that hump.
That's good stuff, though. I mean, and maybe this is the years, because obviously you've had the success, you've done the things you needed to do. At the end of the day, you know, what do you feel will be the key for this year's team to make a good run? Because you got a lot of good players. You know, talk some about the highlight players, the guys we should have our eyes on, because you have a lot of great skilled players coming back.
Well, we have our quarterback coming back, Brody Doyat, who'll be a rising sophomore, who we feel like is going to be a special player. But we also have some really good linemen coming back. One in Nate Johnson, who's been first-team All-State the last 2 years, and Shane Gibson, our H, and middle linebacker. Jack Camper is an H and middle linebacker. Reed Hutchinson is our leading receiver coming back. Ben, gosh, I'm having a brain. I'm elderly, but
no pressure.
Yeah. No, but we have some really good players coming back. So. And we have a great coaching staff. We're just going to grind and really just try to enjoy the ride and enjoy every day, because tomorrow's not promised. And, you know, I feel very blessed to have been healthy enough to be able to do this. Certainly, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to Coach Smith in Appomattox, someone who I respect tremendously. He's an unbelievable human being, and we just hope and pray that he battles on and beats cancer. And so getting to do this is just a blessing, really.
You know, Coach, you know, we've talked about this several times, and I enjoy talking to you about this, but when you took over the Glenvar program, I mean, you've really turned it into a successful thing. And I know you say it's not about you, but in some ways, isn't it special to see not only the growth of the program, the guys that were in your program, but then what they do after their time at Glenvar and how they've grown into young, strong individuals? It's
funny because Tuesday night after weightlifting, I told 2 of our former players, you know, I really don't care what you do after you leave here. That's irrelevant. It's being happy, being a good human being, and you know, and those are the things that really matter at the end of the day. It's not the things that we acquire or things that we get. It's how we act, how we treat other people, and you know, what we do with our life that impacts other people.
And then when you look at the success of your program, it's obviously when the underclassmen, they move up through the ranks, they know what the expectation is. And I'm sure that's a big thing for you. When all you got to do is point to that trophy case and look at our records over the years, they understand what you expect and they understand what it means to be a Glenvar Highlander and have the success.
Well, I think expectations are everything in whatever endeavor we're in. I mean, if you have low expectations for yourself, you'll get low, no results. But that's our expectations. And I just think it's just a mentality. If we're going to work and we're going to bring our lunch pail every day but have fun too. You got to have fun. It's also a game. So there needs to be some fun involved in it. And winning is fun. Losing isn't.
It's better to be on the good side than the bad side.
I mean, it
But
is.
But looking at your schedule, I mean, it's usually a stout schedule, but obviously all the games you play, and obviously you open up the season, and it seems like this has developed into a pretty good matchup. Galax, you're playing them again, starting off the season at home. You've had some pretty good battles with Galax, but so many others. If you look at your schedule, you're at Liberty, you're home to Cave Spring, you're at Hidden Valley, you have a bye, then you get into that district schedule with Radford, at Patrick County, hosting Allegheny, James River. You finish on the road at Floyd County and Carroll County, but that's a strong schedule you got there this year, sir.
Well, first of all, Galax, obviously, they've proven that they're one of the best single-A programs in the state year in and year out. And that'll be a battle. It's a great rivalry. We enjoy playing them. I hope we continue to do that. We added Liberty, who we think will be really tough. I know Coach Robertson's building a program, and they'll be a foe for sure. And of course, our district schedule with Radford is very talented. Floyd, always tough, and I think Allegheny is going to be the dark horse, combining the two schools. I think they could be a scary, good program. So, we definitely have a challenge. Every week's a challenge. Every day's a challenge. Goodness gracious. Getting up out of the morning sometimes is a challenge.
Now, Coach, again, you've been doing this for more than 3 decades as a head football coach. So this year we have 12 new coaches, coaching changes in our area, but 8 of the 12 coaches, they're first-time head football coaches. Now, obviously, if there's a piece of advice, if one of those coaches called you up, what would be the biggest piece of advice you would give them? And then what did you learn as a first-year head football coach that was different than being the assistant?
Well, number one, just being consistent in your effort and your attitude and how you treat people. And have fun. Have some joy in it, because it can be a grind. I mean, there's a lot of things from being an assistant to a head coach that you really don't know until you do it. And then when you start figuring it out, just put everything in the proper perspective. If I could go back, I think probably I wouldn't change maybe how much time, but how I did it. I never wanted to detract from my family, and I think I did that some. I would probably, even though I got to coach all 3 of my sons, I think placing family first should matter most. So if any coach that's new that has a family, I would say don't sacrifice your family for coaching. I don't think it's worth it in the long run.
Finally, you've been doing this for a long time as a head coach, but for Kevin Clifford, what does Friday nights in the fall mean to you, sir?
I don't think there's anything like it, and I don't care what state you're in. We could go to Texas or California, New York, Florida, wherever, Georgia. It's just exciting. There's a buzz, there's a feeling at school on that day. Our student body does a great job. They're fun to watch for a small school. It's just something different. And I love Saturdays too. We've certainly enjoyed our Saturdays the last several years watching our 2 sons play, but there's nothing like it. It's just something about Friday night. It's hard to put a thumb on or really to articulate it. You just have to experience it.
One thing I noticed is you're talking about that, your hairs on your arms stood up when you're doing that. You got excited.
Yeah. I mean, I love, that's I haven't lost that love and that zeal, When I do, then I'm going to get out. When that's gone, I'll be done.
Well, you got a lot more time, so
I'm young. I'm only 56.
That's right. You're not going anywhere.
I'm going to lose weight.
Now, next year I'll join the 50 club because I turned 50.
Do you really?
Yes, sir. There you go. Good stuff there. Hey, I tell you, it's a good. As long as you're on the other side of the dirt, this side you're okay.
Amen.
And meanwhile, the Glenvar Highlanders, they're going to get the season started at home, taking on the Galax Maroon Tide. As we have our Friday Night Blitz Media Days, as we're getting you ready for the 2023 football season.
Let's start easy. What your overall thoughts going into your senior year at Glenvar?
It's a great place to be. Energy's always high level, and then it's just a great place.
Take me back through last season, just your overall thoughts on how last season went. What went right, what didn't go right, how do you feel?
In the beginning, it started kind of slow. Then toward the mid and end of the season, we started picking up, getting charisma with the young guys, and we started playing good football. And then it suddenly ended at Appomattox, sadly.
I gotta say, of all the classes that we cover here, Class 2 seems to be the most. Yes, Class 2, right?
Yeah.
it seems to be the most competitive,
Yeah.
like of all the classes that we cover here. Have you felt that way too? I mean, how do you feel like the competition's been like over the last 3 years that you've been playing?
The competition is always high.
Yeah.
Expectations are high, and competitiveness is high.
So you're going into your senior year. What emotions do you kind of have just thinking about, oh, this is my last year, and like, okay, kind of your last shot at putting it all out there in a Glenvar uniform? Just like, what kind of emotions are you feeling going into that?
I'm excited because football is my passion. I love it. But it's also kind of sad since it will be my last time at high school playing with the guys I've been growing up with.
Yeah. Let's talk about you as a football player. Where did that all come from? Like, where did you fall in love with the sport?
Through my brother. He's 4 years older than me, and I've always watched him and idolized him.
What was your brother's name?
Cody Gibson.
Okay, yeah, that's when did he graduate?
2020.
Gotcha. What sorts of things did you learn from him as a football player, just like kind of growing up watching him?
How to play everywhere, because I played more inside the box and he plays like receiver, corner, stuff like that, so it gave me a different perspective of the game.
What was it about the game that kind of kept you going? Like, clearly you're still here, you're still playing football. Like, what was it about this sport that, kind of continues to motivate you, continues to drive you?
The feeling after you win and the feeling as soon as you step on the field.
What's that like? Just like even just running out onto the field. Take me to Glenvar. I mean, like nice new turf field that's been there for a couple of years now. I mean, just what's it like to suit up, walk out of that locker room, and then run out onto that field?
You feel invincible.
That's okay. So let's talk about just the goals that you have going to senior year. Like what are some of the goals that you and the other seniors talk about?
Make it to the playoffs and make a playoff run, and hopefully get to the states.
Why do you feel like this year you guys have the pieces to do that?
Because we got a lot of young guys, and we've been building with them since middle school, so we feel really good about them.
So there's definitely like a lot of continuity there, a lot of just consistency there. Tell me about how you've improved as a football player from your like freshman year till now.
And by watching the guys in front of me, they set the way, and I just followed.
Are you a totally different football player from where you were like 3 years ago?
Yeah, definitely.
How have you changed?
Size, definitely.
Describe what you were like when you were a freshman.
When I was a freshman, I was about 130, and now I'm 205.
A lot of time in the weight room, I assume. Tell me about your off season. What were some of the things you wanted to focus on?
I wanted to focus on getting bigger and getting better, get to know the guys.
You talk about the senior. How big is the senior class?
We're, I don't know, we're not that big. We're small.
But you guys seem to be very close-knit, right? I mean, what's special about the senior class?
We've always been childhood friends since elementary school, and we've been playing football together ever since.
Do you guys feel like that closeness can help you guys out on the football field? I mean, how do you feel like the way you guys have grown up together, how do you feel like all of that can help you guys out this year?
And because we all know we all have the same goal, and that is to win.
Let's talk about Coach Clifford. Just what has he been like as not just a coach, but also kind of like another father figure in your life? What's it been like to kind of grow up with him?
I mean, it was great. He takes time to get to know you and gets to show you what he wants to get done, so that helps a lot.
Any specific pieces of advice that he's given you over the years, maybe?
Nothing specific.
Okay.
Everything he says is worth taking in.
Yeah, gotcha. You're talking about goals, you're talking about emotions. Have you thought about what it's going to be like to run onto the field for like your last first home game? Like, have you thought about like what that might feel like at all, or
No.
Just
One step at a time.
Yeah. What do you like outside of football?
Outside of football,
Yeah.
you get the same person.
Okay. Play like video games, just hang out with friends, just chilling.
Yeah.
Favorite movies or anything like that?
And favorite movie?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Probably Wally.
Okay. Why is that? Oh yeah, well, that's a good movie. Why is that?
I don't know. I just always watched it growing up.
It's a good feel-good movie. Talk about your teammate here. Just like, what's it been like to kind of go through the process with him, and what kind of a teammate is he?
He's a great teammate. He understands. He'll listen to if you're trying to tell him something, and he's just all out all the time.
All right, finally, in terms of like, no matter what happens this season, you put in 4 years of Glenvar football. What do you hope people remember you by? Like, what's the legacy you hope to leave behind?
That I gave everything I got.
All right, simple as that. Anything I want to add? Good. All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
How do you feel going into your final year on the gridiron?
Excited because I've kind of waited for this moment to be like the oldest guy on the field and just ready to play.
You talk about waiting for your moment. What's it been like kind of growing up with Glenvar football and kind of waiting for your moment to shine?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of guys ahead of me that were really good, and I played with my brother. He was really, really good, and he's been kind of like an inspiration to play, really. So, I mean, it just. Oh, we'll pause that for a second. I messed
you're
up.
good. Yeah, no, you're perfectly fine. We can edit stuff out too. So.
Okay.
But you talk about your brother. What's your brother's name?
William Johnson. He's number 75.
Okay.
We played last year.
He graduated already?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2023.
Okay. Oh, gosh. So you just graduated.
Yeah.
Okay. What was that like to be able to play with your brother for the last couple of years?
There's really nothing like it. It was probably the most fun I've ever had, really. It's like just we grew up playing together, and sometimes I wouldn't play with him because he was a little older, but the last couple of years we played together, and it was really fun. We played right by side. I was right guard, he was right tackle, so it was really fun. The brother chemistry was really there.
Do you feel as you guys got even closer as brothers throughout that experience?
Oh, yes, sir.
What did you learn from him in that time?
How to really work hard and take the game really serious. I guess and also take time to have fun with it too. You play this game as a child and you're playing it as basically almost an adult. So take time to enjoy it.
Do you feel like your high school career has kind of gone like that? I mean, how fast do you feel like it's gone?
Really fast. I can remember the end of the freshman year, then flipped right to sophomore year, then like weight room. You don't really get time to like take it for granted though. You shouldn't take anything for granted really.
What kind of a guy were you in your freshman year when you first started out?
Skinny and lanky, really. I wasn't very big. I just really like playing, so coach saw it in me, so he just kept getting me working in there, and then I got bigger. So
A lot of time in the weight room, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
What was all that extra work that you put in? What was that like?
It was a lot. It was kind of hard, really. Just like got to stay disciplined and get in the weight room, get bigger, and eat more, and I'll get faster too.
Yeah, you mentioned eating more. Do you have like a go-to meal that you kind of like always have to?
Chicken and rice.
I love chicken.
I eat it every day.
Yeah, with like some, I don't know, like for me it's like garlic or like I don't know, seasoning or whatever. Just like throw it in and throw it in the air fryer. It's good. Do you have like do you have any special seasoning you put on or just?
Garlic powder and red pepper flakes, really.
Nice.
I like it a little spicy.
Yeah, yeah. What kept motivating you throughout your time as a football player? Because I mean, you could have easily just been like, I'm good. But I mean, what kept you going?
Well, I've always had aspirations to play college football and like to really got to stand out in high school to play college football because you can't be average. And you gotta be like, because college football is like top like 1-2% of athletes, so you gotta really be good.
If you don't mind me asking, how's the process going of trying to figure out where you're gonna go?
Kind of stressful. Like it's hard to get what it looks like from all these other coaches. Like every player, like every football player in high school wants to play Division I football. That's kind of my goal too. But I really can settle with anywhere really.
What is like your ideal landing spot? I mean, not like in terms of. I mean, like what do you look for in a program? Like when you're looking at all these colleges, like what do you hope to see that makes it a perfect fit for you?
All the intensity to play football and the discipline to like keep like going every practice, not missing practice, and like listen to coaches and just really like learn how to play the game at a higher level.
Safe to say your brother played a role in you wanting to play football in the first place. Do you remember what that was like when you like how old were you when you first started playing?
I really don't know. It was really like my first grade, probably like six or 7 years old. And that's when we were in Pee Wee and me and my brother played together. I always saw him do it, so like I want to do that too. So as a younger brother, you always want to do what your older brother does.
Did you always want to be like on the line, or were you just?
Yes, sir. My father played in line too, so I figured I'd be there eventually.
Talk about that room of just linemen in general. How do you feel like that's become a strength for you guys over the years?
Because all of us bond together with a lot of chemistry, and really in football, if your offense or defensive line is really good, your team is usually really good. So we put the we're like the concrete underneath the house of like our team. So we gotta like build the base of our team first up.
Yeah, that's a really great way to put it. Do you feel like that's going to be a strength for you guys going into this year, and you guys can build off of that foundation? Do you feel like it's going to be like that's why you guys are going to be successful this year?
Yes, sir.
When you talk about goals that you guys have, I mean, your teammate here just talked about, winning record, playoffs, all that stuff. I mean, like, how do you get there? Like, when you guys are about to start camp in a couple weeks, like, what's the work that you guys have to put into that?
You come in every day and you just put in all the effort you can. I mean, not every day you're gonna come in and be better and better. You gotta take time. Like, it'll take weeks to get better. So just come in every day and be consistent.
Have you thought about what it's going to be like on that opening Friday night? The emotions of just being a senior, this is it. I mean, what do you think you're going to feel, and how do you kind of control those emotions or use those emotions?
I'll be pretty happy. Like, it's like, it's like you're the oldest guy on the field, like I said, and you're just like, you have all the guys looking out for you. All the guys looking up to you, and it'll be kind of sentimental, really. Like, you remember it for the rest of your life.
What has Glenvar football given you over the last couple of years?
A lot, really. It just taught me how to be a hard worker, and like the camaraderie of all our teammates. Like, it's a whole other family, really.
And Coach Clifford, what has he meant to you?
A lot. He showed, like, at a very young age, we always would go over there to practice with the older guys. We'll try to, like, work out with them at least. And he really showed a lot of, like, interest in the game, a lot of, like, the same intensity I had for the game. So I really like that he showed that.
Finally, no matter what happens this season, what's the legacy you hope you leave behind? What do you hope people remember you by?
Just I gave everything I had for my teammates, my team.
All right. Cool. Appreciate it, man.